All right, guys, how's it going? Now, before I get into this video, I just want to point out that we keep our Christmas trees up in Spain until the 7th of January, all right? Because on the 6th of January, we have Three Kings Day here in Spain, which is really their Christmas day. It's their big day of the year. They do celebrate Christmas Day, but it's not anything like Three Kings Day, all right? So, because someone was on the stream yesterday saying, you should take that tree down, Christmas is finished. But anyway, so this tree will be up until the 7th. So you needed to know these things, but I'm just putting it out there before people start, you know what they're like. How you doing? You all right? Now listen, it is Friday morning. I haven't done my morning briefing yet, but I will do a morning briefing after this, okay? But basically, this video is my usual post-match video, right? To get your thoughts on the game. Obviously, last night's game against Leeds United. Now, I'm going to be completely honest as to why I didn't do a post-match, video last night just to get your thoughts or whatever. It was because I was asleep. I literally was so bored last night that I was in here and I started falling asleep. So I went up to my bedroom and I had the bedside lamp on and everything, and I was watching. I was like, oh, it's so fucking boring. So, and I turned my bedside lamp off because I was like, oh, I'm going to sleep soon, right? So I left the game on the telly, right? So I could, I could hear it, kind of thing. And I, when it was full time, I don't know, opened my eyes and had a good nosy in there. But the point I'm trying to say here is I didn't enjoy it, all right? And I genuinely found it exceptionally boring, as I'm finding our football at the moment. Anyway, now, prior to last night's game, if you follow me, just because we've, threw some more positive results together, hasn't changed my view and what I think is going on, in that his position at Liverpool Football Club is not safe. So I'm not coming out today and telling you that because we had a very less than convincing game last night. It would be very easy to do that today. If you spoke to me yesterday on the live stream, you would have heard me say, listen, regardless of what happens against Leeds United, I don't think his position is safe. And if you want my intuition, all right, I suspect that Liverpool Football Club are in the background already looking at alternatives and possibilities if things were to continue as they are. Now, we all know that things can change in football, right? And if he wins something, maybe that buys more time, for example. But having some, more positive results recently, for me, doesn't, some people have been like, oh, he's, do you reckon he was nearly going to get the sack then? And I was like, whoa, I don't think the issue's resolved, to be honest with you. My intuition is that they are looking at other options. And I think if I reached out to one or two people that I know are very well connected to the club and put that to them, I think they would tell me, yes, that is the case. And the reason I haven't reached out to them is because I just think it's common sense that it's not good enough, right? So if I reach out to them and say, hey, look, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, sorry I've been in touch, how are you doing, how's the family? I was just wondering, they're going to say, yeah, of course they are, Duncan, So in my opinion, he's not safe, and I think that the football is dull as fuck, to be honest with you, especially after, what we've been used to. And I don't want to be, negative or heavily critical or anything. Imagine if I was making, videos prior to last night's game, earlier in the week saying, after the, more positive results saying, I think they're going to sack him. I think they're going to replace him. People would have been going, what's wrong with you? We're going through a more positive period. So you just leave it, right? But if you join my live streams and when people raise this, I always say, I don't think he's safe. And I think you've only got to look at that football last night to see that. And what's very interesting about last night's game is the boos at full time. Anfield booing, right? Your own team, your own manager, I'm not talking about boos from the opposition or boos of an opposition player. I'm talking about our fans at full time booing. Now, I'm not saying the stadium was, intense, booing, but if you know your football, if you know Liverpool Football Club, booing is very unheard of. Things are seriously wrong if you start to hear the boos, right? And the old school, the proper, old school fans, and most likely the ones from the city, will be the last to do anything like that, if they ever do that, right? So I think it's obvious that things are pretty fucked, to be honest with you. And I listen, even during this season, when we were doing really well, right, at your top of the league or whatever, right, we weren't winning great. And I remember people saying, it ain't good, it ain't good. And people, but what's the answer to that? People saying, what's wrong with you? Top of the league. You know, and it's like, nah, but when we come up against this, you know, X, Y, Z, or if something goes wrong, we're going to pay for it. And all those people that were told to shut their faces, right, because we don't be negative when everything's positive, they all turned out to be accurate, didn't they? It's worrying, guys, it is. And I don't know about you, but I'm 51, right? So I've seen Liverpool, you know, in the 80s, let's say, you know what I mean? And there's people older than me that saw Liverpool in the 70s and 60s. You know? Liverpool, traditionally a very attacking team, yeah? Fucking immense team. You know, finishing, you know, second in the league would be a disaster for Liverpool Football Club. And for me, I want to be entertained, all right? I'd rather, and this will sound daft as fuck maybe, right? But I'd rather draw 3-3, right, 4-4, than win 1-0 in a terribly boring, terribly awful game. Now, all right, you know, like winning ugly or whatever, sometimes you've got to do that, all right? And yes, you know, points is all that matters and winning is all that matters, but I don't want to watch a team win the league that plays terrible football and wins 1-0. I want to be entertained, all right? Now, if that makes me a weirdo, I'll take it, all right? But I need to be entertained. The whole thing is an entertainment sport, you know? And I'm really surprised, I've got to be honest with you, at last night's result. I actually thought it would be a really, you know, interesting game. I thought there'd be goals, and it was a shit show, to be honest with you. And I'm going to bring you back to one point I want to make about Arne Slot, right? Was that just before he was appointed, right? When he was, sorry, let me rephrase that. When he was appointed, or when it was certain that he was going to be the next Liverpool manager, or head coach, whatever the fuck you want to call him, right? I remember reading an article from his homeland, right? And a journalist said, Arne Slot, good manager, deserves a chance. Surprised he got the Liverpool job. And the thing that this journalist said was, he's never managed players of that, I don't want to say ego, because ego immediately makes you think that you've got a load of like fucking dickheads. But he's big names, big names. And with big names comes big stress, right? When it doesn't work out. Think words, right? So if you've signed £100 million plus player and it's not working at the time, a very experienced, qualified manager might be able to handle that better than someone that's never handled players of that value, that importance before. The Mo Salah situation, I stick with the manager on this, right? I will never side with a player calling the manager out, right? Ever. Even if the fucking player's right. It's just not right. So you'll never get me to change that, right? But I'm just not sure that he's capable of working with these star players, these big names. And it was an article that stood out at the time. I didn't make a video about it because I didn't want to be negative at the time. You know, right, we've got a new manager and that's it. Let's get behind him, right? Just like I'll get behind him in the next game. But the reality is, at the time, I thought, yeah, that's a good point, maybe, you know. So I don't know. What do you think of that? Yeah. Now, going to the game, which this is supposed to be about the game, I guess. Well, it is about the game, isn't it? Everything I've said really is a result of being reminded of the shite that we're seeing at the moment. Let me know what you think. I mean, not just specifically about the game, but maybe anything I've just said, or Slot, what's the answer, guys? You know, there's no drama here. We're not ranting and raving and fucking, you know, kicking off and trying to be controversial and get views and things like that. This is just a proper grown-up conversation between myself and you, right? Is there anybody that is still like, no, he's the man to do it? Because I've listen, when we were top of the league, I was like, something's not right here. I don't think this is going to work out. If you come to my live streams where I'm like, you know, just having a conversation, you know, you'll have heard me say that, you know. So I don't have any confidence in it being turned around. I don't. I really don't. And some people might say, well, we didn't get battered, we didn't get beat. But it's not the point. We spent a fucking fortune. We spent a fortune and we've thrown it away, right? I know we've had like some, bad luck with Isak, for example. I forgot his name. He's been that fucking unimportant. But that's just one of those things in football, I'm still baffled, to be honest with you, why we signed Ekitike and Isak, you know what I mean? Excuse me. Remy, do you mind? I'm talking to people's... Sorry, that's my rescue dog down there, Remy. It's early morning and we've just woke up, haven't we, son? Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you, all right? Like I said, this isn't a video to create drama. Just be honest with me. Tell me what you think. I read every single fucking comment. I can't reply to everyone. I'll be there forever. But you'll see me acknowledge it, right? And... yeah, just let me know. What did you take from last night's game? Let's split it into two things, all right? What did you take from last night's game? What did you see in that game? What did you think of that game, etc., etc., and any individual player performances, all right? And then let's split it into, do you still think he's the right man? What do you think on that front? All right, guys, I'd really appreciate it if you would do that for me. I'll do my morning briefing after I've had my breakfast. I've got my protein shake over there in the background, which is separating because I've left it that long. I'm going to go and have that and get sorted, and I'll do my morning briefing. I have got some mail stand... Excuse me, motherfucker. I've got some mail stand videos coming up for you today. I received an email about the managerial situation, which came in last night, all right? So look out for the mail stand today. I will read that to you. There will also be a live stream today as well. I'll tell you all this in the morning briefing. All right, guys, you take care. Hope you're all right. Happy New Year if I haven't seen you since the turn of the year. And just let me know those two things, right? The game, the manager, all right, is the future. Okay, if you would like to support my channel, you can thumbs up the video, you can drop me a comment. I would love to hear from you. There's love out of the video if you want to support my channel, and there's also links in the video description if you want to buy me a beer. You know how it works, all right? But I'm more focused on my strawberry protein drink over there. All right, guys, I'll be back with you in an hour or so. All right, cheers.